Valeria, the floor is yours.
Okay, so I think what we'll do, we also have the presentation, which I believe many of you have seen already. We'll keep that for the end. What we'll start with is just take you through a couple of the queries that we've received and answer a couple of those queries, and then with priority focusing on payments, method of payments, registration issues, and then of course the post-tour. There's a little bit of not confusion, but perhaps not everyone is clear on the last day of the post-tour, how that program runs. But I think, Valeria, I'll hand over to you if you want to take us through some of the registration challenges that some people have and what the solutions are, as well as payment. Let's start with that first, and then of course we'll take questions as well once we have gone through everything from Valeria's side. Valeria?
Okay, I would, I mean, what we have seen together with Marika and Alushka on the last weeks and days is that some guests have had issues on the payment, only a few actually, because we received many registrations and a few had issues with their credit cards. So the thing is that in some cases, I mean, we are willing to help and assist, but when the problem is at the origin, so it's generated by the credit cards that has some restrictions, there we cannot help and assist, and we recommend to do the payments via bank transfer, or always refer to us and send an email. We know that we had some complaints about some delays on answering, and this is also caused by the volume of questions we receive. So it's really important that all participants are aware that there are many things listed in the website. So beforehand, they should have a good knowledge on what's listed in the website, because otherwise we run a little bit out of time on answering and focusing on the really important issues. So because basically the registration process runs quite smoothly. We had only a few exceptions. So it's important really to check that the credit card is valid when a guest is ready to make the payment.
I think let me jump in here. So it is quite a important thing that Valeria raises about going through the website quite in detail before emailing, and the volume of emails, most of the questions are answered on the website. So unfortunately, people are perhaps not reading, not taking the time to read, trying to take the easy way out. And then, as she says, the most important emails are then not addressed because of the volume of the emails. So please share that with everyone that you speak to, that they need to look at the website thoroughly before sending through their query. With regards to the credit card, yes, often the credit card is not accepted because it perhaps has expired, or they have not notified the bank that you are using it in Europe, that you are using it in Italy. So that is another big thing. It's nothing that they can do on their side. It's something you need to address with your bank before going through the payment. And then the alternatives, of course, is the electronic transfer. And then from there, if that also doesn't work, we need to then have another discussion on how we can facilitate that payment. But it really does start with the information of the credit card that you supply, where it does come back as an error. Just from another question, Valeria, and although I know the answer, I want you to answer it. When it comes to registration and everyone has completed the registration form, they've put everything in, they've completed the registration, what is the process that happens internally from the moment they've pushed send, they've chosen the accommodation, they've registered, everything's gone through, they've entered credit card payment, send. What happens then immediately there, and what is the timeline around that? Because I think there is an expectation that there is an immediate communication, but there is a process that has to happen. Don't you want to take everyone through that process and the approximate timeline?
Well, first of all, we have to, we send the confirmation, and this is automatically generated by the system. And this is not an invoice, it's just a communication sent by the system, just summarizing what the guest has purchased with the registration. So if the participant has also completed the registration, because the registration for us, it's completed only once we receive the payment. So it means that once we send out the confirmation of the registration with all the services purchased, then we have to have the time to synchronize the payment. So it takes a few days until we really see that the payment has been received, and only then we can issue the invoice. So it takes about 7-8 days until we complete the process, and in some cases can be up to 10 days. If we have many, maybe 2 weeks, but in general, let's say 7-8 days, it's completed.
Okay, let's see if there's any questions about what we've just discussed before we move on. Does anyone have any questions about the registration process, the payment process? You can just raise your hand, physical or digital. Okay, we've got Jim Carr, and then we've got Michael. So Jim, if you'd like to go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Volushka. So I initially registered and sent my payment, and subsequently I was told that, well, I wasn't sure I was going to be a delegate, but I am going to be a delegate. And my question to you, I made the additional payment as a delegate. Do you need a confirmation from the head of the US delegation that I am in fact a delegate?
Jim, I believe part of the application or registration process for delegates, it does ask you to upload the letter or document. If you have not done that, then we receive from Valeria's team, we receive a list of those who have registered as a delegate, and then Sonia then will check the membership, and she will then email and request the letter if you have not uploaded it. But the uploading of the letter that we request is part of that registration process.
Thank you.
Okay, Michael?
I think I'm registered for everything. I'm not 100% sure. I've got two different documents that have slightly different payments on them, and I'm not sure if I understand them. I have one that shows it says Via del Teatro Siracusa, and it shows the name of my hotel, shows a registration fee. It doesn't show any deposit. Shows that I've registered, I think, for the pre-tour, and that's all. And there's another one that came on the same email, which is an invoice, which has different pricing. It says registration, then it has events, and I'm not sure. I guess I don't understand. I'm wondering, have I paid a deposit for the hotel? As part of that, I don't understand necessarily what these two different, one is from, the other is from Symposia SRL is the other document. So there's two different documents that I got for my registration, and I'm not sure what they mean exactly, because there's a lot
it
of.
might be that one, it's the first one, it's the confirmation, what you once you register, and the other one is the invoice. If there is just a small difference, it might be that you paid with credit card, and there you have also a little amount that it's charged for the transaction with the credit card. That might be because the hotel will be paid completely on site.
Oh, so I'm paying the hotel when I get there. There's
Yes.
no charge. Okay,
There's
that's
no
great.
charge for the hotel, and the reason why we do that, it's because paying it directly at the hotel, you will save the 12% of VAT. So that's the reason why the booking goes via our system, and it means that we also collect the credit card as a guarantee, but then no payment is done until you arrive.
Okay, and then just one other question regarding the registration. As I registered for the pre-tour, they said to be there on the 18th, even though the pre-tour doesn't start till the 19th, where we depart. And I asked about, do I need to get a hotel room for that night? And I've never gotten an answer back from that.
No, it's already, if you don't have any extra nights, so if you arrive regularly on the 18th, then the price for the room, it's already on the package.
Yeah. Perfect. That wasn't terribly clear from the paperwork. Thank you so much. I appreciate all your hard work.
I will double check how it's mentioned in the website, and it's good to know that there is confusion about it. So we'll specify it a little bit better, even if when it's mentioned the registration fee, including, it should be. Let me check.
While you're checking, Valeria, just so you know, Michael, so the 19th is a full day. So literally after breakfast, you hit the ground running. So that's why the 18th, they say, arrive at your own time. The 18th, the dinner's at your own leisure, but the accommodation is included for that night.
Exactly.
Yeah, I had asked that in the email, and then they said they would get back to me, but they never really got back to me. So I just wanted to be clear on that. Thank you so much.
Okay. Perfect. And then I think Steve had his hand up before you, Judy. So let's go to Steve Flynn and then to Judy after Steve.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I also checked, I wasn't sure if my microphone was working, but just a couple questions, likewise on the accommodation. First, accommodation on at the regular conference itself. While you were speaking, you used you said while you were registering and chosen your accommodation, completing your registration, that piqued my curiosity because I had, in my understanding was to that I didn't see that as a choice in my registration. I went ahead and reserved my own place in Syracuse, Ortegia, but just that confused me when I heard those words. As part of your description of completing registration, chosen your accommodation. And then the second, I too have questions on the hotel stuff at the I am doing the pre-conference. And I guess one of my questions was, isn't the 18th moving forward all just automatically part of the fee on the pre-conference, or is there a do I cover my own on the 18th? Anyway, similar question. I registered a long time ago and I just can't remember anything about accommodations being part of either of those registrations. So it's just also confusion on the accommodation question for both the main conference and the pre-conference.
As I just answered for, I mean, Michael had the same question about the pre-tour. It means that the night of the 18th, it's included in the package of the pre-tour. So
okay, I won't even worry. It'll just be upon arrival.
It's something that I will, anyway, I mean, when we have in the pre-convention tour, what the pre-convention includes, there it's mentioned that 3 nights are included in the pre-convention tour. So it should be clear, but I will ask to add in the website which nights are included. So it will show 18th, 19th, and 20th. So that it might be more clear, but it's already mentioned 3 nights. And as regards the hotel accommodation during the conference, the possibility to select one of the hotels we are offering, it's just a possibility, it's not mandatory. So it means that while registering, you are not paying for any hotel, so you just don't select any hotel, and anyway nothing will be charged by I mean from our side for hotels. So you're free on booking also B&Bs or other solutions, or you can sleep wherever you like.
Okay,
Okay,
And-
great. That's it. That's what I was thinking. So that's the end of my question and I'm good to go.
So just to summarize, so the pre and post tour includes the accommodation, other than if you arrive earlier or leave later. Those additional nights are then extra costs. And then for the main convention, it excludes accommodation, and you can book wherever, and as Valeria says, sleep wherever. So that is excluding. So that's just in summary. And Sherry, I hope that answers your question. Judy, would you like to go ahead with your question?
Well, now I have another question. If we did book through the registration, the hotel during the conference, then we are booked there, correct? I mean, okay, all right. So I just wanted to comment for Michael's question. I know I got a whole lot of emails too, but the bottom line, Michael, I got something with a big statement says registration completed. So if you get that, and it's got, all of the information as well as the credit card charges, which correspond to the other payment authorization I got from my credit card. So, I feel like I'm safe to go. And I understand too we had a couple questions about the pre tour, but we all get that we have to arrive on the 18th and that's included. So my big concern, my question is, we have not booked our flights yet. We're hoping that those of us coming from Philadelphia will probably be traveling together. And so we're looking into that, and we all signed up for the early transfer, which I believe is 2 p.m. We might not make that depending on once we do book our flights. But my question is, are we going to be told in the event that things are late or we might miss a transfer or whatever, or are we going to be told what hotel then to go to so that we can get there ourselves if need be on the 18th?
It's the hotel you selected, so you should know it already.
For the pre-tour.
No, this is the pre-tour. This is the pre-tour I'm talking about.
Okay, for the pre-tour.
There will also be a
Yes,
welcome
of
desk
course.
at the airport as well. So on the 18th,
Oh,
there'll be a
okay.
welcome hospitality desk at the airport for the entire day. So the people at the hospitality desk, welcome desk, will also have that information with them, and they can also assist you with a cab if you don't want to wait for the transfer or whatever need be. But there will be the volunteers there for the entire day to welcome everybody, and they will also have all the relevant information.
Okay, it would just be nice to know the hotel though ahead of time, just, with international flights, anything can happen. And in case we arrive, really late or the next day or whatever, I want to know where to go.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll make a note to communicate that. Great.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
Anyway, we will send out newsletters with more detailed information about the pre and post conference tour, but we can already upload on the website the information about the hotel where you will be staying. So it's
Great.
Okay.
And once we book our flight, if we don't we're trying to still make that 2:00 transfer, but if we don't, do I notify you guys to say now we'll be in the 6 p.m. transfer, or do you need to know that?
Yes, it will be useful to know that. Anyway, the good thing is that the Catania airport is very well connected also to the Catania city center as well as to Siracusa. So in case you will never get lost because there are buses running nearly every hour. So I was also using that service, the regular service. So in case, the worst case scenario, there's still possibility, but yes, in case of any issues, just email us and we'll be there.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other questions, Jim?
Yes, Valeria, I haven't looked at the registration form lately, but should we direct any questions to you via email, or is there another email address? Yeah.
It's always the convention email, what you find in the website.
Yeah.
And there, as we said, it might take a few days to send you the answer. But anyway, I mean, we are always answering. So in case an answer is really not arriving, so please be patient and maybe email a second time. But normally we try to be as quick as possible.
Thank you.
I just shared the email here in the chat so that you have it.
I think also just take note of holidays in Italy. So I think all the holidays are finished now until December,
Yes.
correct, Valeria? So Italy had a lot of public holidays over the last few months, but I think those are finished now. And the next holiday, basically vacation time, is during December, all the religious holidays and so on. So, but everyone will put out of office note on their emails. But I think for now, there's a 5-day work week ahead for the Italian team. So those summer vacation holidays are done with. Ellen, your hand is raised.
Well, it's not about the pre-tour. So you're still talking about pre-tour type arrangements?
Pre-tour registrations and payments. And then if there's no other queries on that, we'll move on to the post-tour and departure.
Okay, so my question is, if you are not going on the pre-tour,
Mhm.
the arrival date is the 20th, correct?
Are you attending as a participant, as a delegate? In
Yes,
what capacity are
No,
you
just a-
attending?
Thank you. Just a participant.
Okay, then the Valeria arrival date will be the Sunday, the 20th.
The Sunday.
Let me check in the program because I don't want to,
Yeah,
to be
no, I'm
mistaken.
My major question is about transfers from the airport. When we're supposed to arrive and how we get from there. It says that transfers from the airport are there. At one point, I thought I was coming in a day early and it said there weren't transfers. I'd like to know what day transfers to the airport for people just coming to the conference, and transfers,
Yes.
are there transfers at the end of the conference, and what date that is?
So just for you to note, so the conference starts, the program starts on Sunday the 21st with the evening, for all normal participants, the evening is the opening session.
Right.
So that you kind of need to be in Ortigia, Siracusa, not Catania, Ortigia by Sunday late afternoon.
When are the transfers from the airport?
Valeria can answer that.
That's what my question is.
Yes, I'm checking the. Anyways, you will find the correct timing in the registration form. So it means that when you register, there you will find the timings, because we adapted it. So I don't want to be mistaken.
I registered,
So if you give
I
me
registered a long time ago. The question was, I thought I was going to change it at one point, and I was told that there was only going to be one day where they were going to be, for those people not going on the pre-tour, where they were going to.
There is the for the arrivals. I mean, the convention starts on the 21st. So
Right.
of course, I mean, the participants arriving on that day will have transportation from Catania Airport to Syracuse. I just don't remember the time, and I want to.
So
make
only on the
sure.
21st, not on the 20th.
On the 21st, yes.
Ah, okay. That was not what I was told originally. That's why I was told the
But
20th.
let me double check.
And how about at the end of the conference? Is there transportation back to the airport?
Okay, so we'll discuss the end of the conference now. So just to summarize, so arrival days, there's 2 arrival days that are part of the program. It's the 21st, the Sunday, for normal participants, and then, as we've discussed, for those arriving for pre-tour. If you arrive outside of those dates, those are very specific transfers and not part of the group transfers, and those would be transfers that you would need to arrange yourself. We only supplying transfers for the official arrival dates for the convention, which is then your 21st and your pre-tour arrivals. Just so that that's clear, because, and then we will have hospitality welcome desks on all those dates, as well as at the train station as well. So there will be people around to assist if you do miss a set transfer service, which is part of the. Keep in mind the 20th is then for your own, because that is not part of our program. It's outside of the program dates and the official program. But if it is on the 20th, it will be communicated in the newsletter and on the website. But officially, the 21st and the pre-tour days are the two arrival dates.
Okay, so
Um,
officially the
And as
21st.
I
is-
said, it's really easy to go from if you want to arrive earlier, so perhaps on the 20th, and not on the 21st. It's really easy to get from Catania Airport to Siracusa. So there are connections every hour. So if you want to have more precise, detailed information, just email to us, and we will send you the time schedule of the public transport, because I think it's the easiest.
So we should look, for those not going on the pre-tour, we should look also, because I think my hotel room is for the 20th. So, okay, I'll just check.
Yeah, I mean, the official start is on the 21st, so that's why the transportation is foreseen for the 21st. If you wish to book the night from the 20th, that's also not an issue. Just email and we will block the room for the time of your stay without any issues. So we can also do the reservation.
I think a lot of them are, I think no people I know already booked for the 20th, so that's okay. I just want, so I
Okay.
had some questions from some people about
Okay.
that, so, okay.
So let's talk about departure dates. So there are also then two official departure dates. You have the closing of the main convention, which is the Friday. So that would be the date for everyone not doing the post tour. And that would supply a transfer to the airport the afternoon of Friday the 26th. For those going on the post tour, their departure information is obviously different. But if you are staying longer than the 26th, then your departure to the airport is something you need to arrange on your own. But part of the convention transfer to Catania Airport following the end of the convention is the Friday, the 26th afternoon. And that's also then the afternoon of the post-tour departing. And then the last day of the post-tour, Valeria, if you could talk everybody through the last day of the post-tour, because there's a lot of confusion what happens after lunch or from lunch onwards for those who want to fly out of Palermo or those who go back to Catania.
The thing is that I mean the way by bus from Palermo to Catania, it's a long way, it's a long route. So that's why we say if you're attending the post tour, it's the departure, it's from Palermo airport and not from Catania, because it's much more convenient. Otherwise, it's a long route to go back to Catania, and it's always more risky. So if you don't attend the post tour, then departure, it's from Catania. So for those attending the post tour, the arrival should be in Catania and the departure from Palermo.
And what time?
For lunch, it happens that the program will end with lunch, so there will be a quick lunch, and then there will be the transfer to Palermo Airport, so that all people will have the chance to leave in the afternoon. We know that there might be some countries where it's more difficult to fly out on the evenings. So in that case, maybe you wanna stay a bit longer, or so these are special cases, and we also invite you to write an email to us, and we will help you with finding solutions.
Judy?
Yeah, I do know for a fact that all of our well, it looks like most of the flights that are available to us are first thing in the morning on the 29th. So if you're saying that there's only one transfer to the Palermo airport and it'll be after lunch, that's what you're saying?
Yes.
So okay. So we'll either have to fly out then on the 30th and stay another night, or we can arrange for our own transportation, right? From on the 29th. From the wherever that hotel to the airport, right?
Yes. Or
Okay.
if you have special requests and you need assistance, it's always a matter that if we know that there is the need of accommodating some special requests, if you can only fly out on the next day, and maybe that many of you are having the same issue, we can discuss and find solutions with you to know.
Well, yeah, I know most of the international flights leave, well, what we're looking at is Rome, and it's like a 1:30 in the afternoon flight. So we have to get up to Rome, you know, for the connection. So I think we're going to have to be leaving very early in the morning on the 29th. So,
Okay.
okay. I mean, you guys, you know, from Washington and whatnot, I'm sure you're going to run
depends
into the same thing.
on how many of you are having the same issue. I don't know if you can coordinate in order to know how many of you will have the same issue, and then we see what we can do.
So we need to be there till the 21st.
Yeah.
think
Well,
up
like
to-
I said, I know the four of us from Philadelphia are staying for the post tour, but we had hoped to fly home on the 29th. So,
I think,
if it's a
Judy,
cost,
you
you know,
need to
so-
look at the pros and cons. If you leave on the 29th and miss that day and lunch in Palermo, or if you fly the 30th and have an extra night in Palermo, or if you take a transfer, the long drive from Palermo to Catania and fly out of Catania. So you've got 3 or 4 different scenarios to work with.
no, yeah, we're not gonna drive back to
Okay.
Catania, but I mean, we'd
Okay.
stay in Palermo. So it just would be a matter of getting a hotel, you know, for the extra night on the 29th.
Okay, so then I'll
Yeah.
suggest that you sort of see how many it affects, how many people, put it in writing and say that there's 6 of us flying out the next morning. What would it cost for the extra night and for a transfer from the hotel to the airport at 8 a.m. And then send that email to Valeria instead of 8 of you sending 8 different emails with the same request.
Right. We'll
Um,
coordinate it.
I think
And
that's what-
again, once we book our flights, then we'll let you know.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
great. Thank
Or
you.
you can also double check the flight possibilities you have, and before you book it, we consult, and then we try to understand what's the most, suitable option.
Okay.
All right, we've got
Yeah,
Ronald and then Janie, then Marika.
Actually, Lushka, it's Luann, but it's his
Oh.
iPad. So it comes, no, you're not doing anything. It's so annoying, but it comes up, I can't change it. I think you summarized everything, but I just wanted to clarify. There is an actual program going on the 29th. So if those people want to leave, they are missing a half day.
Exactly, and the lunch,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, because I'm part of the post, I will leave on the 30th, but I will speak to Judy so to add our names to the list. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Janie?
Yes, I was just wondering, is there going to be transfers on the 26th after the conference to the train station? Because actually we're doing our own post and we're going out to Palermo and we're going to take the train. So will there be transfers to the train station on the 26th?
Catania train station. No, normally this is not included. It's not foreseen, but as well, I mean, also in this case, I tell you, if it's only one of you, we will help you, because I'm sure there are connections also to the Catania train station, and maybe we can let you know how to get there and to assist you on this matter. If it's many of you, send us a request with an idea of how big is the group, and then we try to react.
Okay, so there's 2 of us. So could we take the transfer to the airport and then just get pick up something from the airport to the train station?
I have to double check what is most convenient, what is more convenient for you, because if there is a public bus going from Siracusa directly to the Catania train station, I would not recommend you to do the loop until Catania airport and then to the city center. But that's something I have to double check. So please send
Okay.
us an email and we will check.
Okay, thank you. Uh-huh.
Okay, Marika, and then Luann, have you got another question, or is your hand still raised from earlier?
Oh, Let me lower it down, thanks.
Okay.
you.
Marika? Just unmute, Marika.
I
There
have
are
a question.
There are some guides that are trying to connect with us from New Orleans, but are having difficulty. So I don't know if they have the updated Zoom version because they cannot get in. So question number 1, and I put it in the chat.
I had also a little, I mean, I had to identify myself on the Zoom account. So this might be the issue they have. So they just need to log in with their email and their Zoom password. That's the only thing they need to do.
Okay, thank you, Valeria. And I'm typing slowly the questions on the chat. If you could kindly refer to that. It starts with what specific dates are our hotel room included for the pre-conference? Because I'm going to be sending them the recording, so kindly just answer that.
This is, as I said, it's 18th, 19th, and 20th of January.
Okay, and then the question number 2 about do they return to the airport for the shuttle transfer if they are arriving a day before?
Are you now talking about the pre-conference or the conference?
The pre. So they're arriving on 17 instead of 18. They're arriving.
It's a private transfer.
So they cannot be included from the Catania pickup.
No.
To the hotel. So they go straight to the hotel?
Yes.
Okay. And then when will the conference content be provided?
We're rolling that out in the coming weeks. We're rolling out the plenaries, highlighting the speakers, highlighting the workshops. All field workshops have been released, and now it's the WFTGA CPD workshops that will be rolled out in the coming weeks along with the plenaries.
What language will be utilized for the entire conference?
English, because WFTGA is an English organization, constitutionally so. The entire convention is in English, and bar 1 or 2 guest speakers from Italy who English is not proficient, a translator will be provided. However, the entire convention, including volunteers, including guides, will be all done in English.
No further questions.
Okay, we have a question.
Another question about, yeah, exactly.
So Valeria, if you look further up, it says regarding visa for guests coming from Iran, if the visa gets rejected or disqualified, required for security deposit. I don't understand the question. Rui, do you want to actually ask the question out loud?
Yes, my question is for Iran, as my guest questioned how to get the visa for Italy. She told me that they are asking for the big amount for deposit to let the people come out of the country. I want to make sure coming to this, especially travel convention, is the same as the regular people are traveling or is different? Are they going to get the better qualification to get their visa to come?
This is something that it's linked to the country of origin. So normally I know that Iranians, I have also many Iranian friends that are traveling to Italy. So normally they don't have many issues with visas, but we know that some guests might face more difficulties. So the thing is that, I mean, what I'm suggesting is to apply as early as possible so that they will have the visas as soon as possible. But I'm not aware about any deposit that has to be paid. If you need to have a letter, of course, we can do it. We can provide registered participants with letters. And I mean, normally the visa should be issued So there are no particular issues with, I mean, between Iran and Italy to arrive. So I see no issues why it should be denied if everything is regular.
Thank you.
I see Louis Guzman, sorry, in the chat asked a question. I think it's important to note that at the main convention, there will be hospitality desks manned by the volunteers throughout. So any additional services you need, such as taxis, transfers, anything that's extra, not included, recommendations, all of that, there will be the volunteers and the local tourist guide hosts. Remember, our hosts are the Italian Tourist Guides Association. So their tourist guides as the hosts, they manage a lot of the aspects on site during the convention. They are also the volunteers. So they are the locals, and they will be around to also assist you with any questions that you have relating to additional transfer services, how the train access works, how to purchase tickets for the train, any of those kind of last minute things. That hospitality desk and those volunteers will be there. So always remember that this is a convention for guides, run by guides as far as possible, of course, with Valeria and them offering the professional services, which is Symposia. But our local hosts, the Italian guides, they are there to also answer any of your questions on site and during the convention.
Yes, everything will be centralized in the conference venue, where at the municipal theater, there will be the info desk always open. We have also our offices there. So it means that it will be, I mean, we will be available from the opening until the closing. So
Exactly.
all day.
Exactly.
So anything you need to, but nevertheless, please read newsletters and website before addressing too many questions, because otherwise, I mean, the really important questions might be delayed on having an answer.
Yeah. We've got one more question, Janie.
Yes, I'm sorry, but I missed the part about the pre-conference tour. What time are the transfers going to be picking up at the airport? We're flying in a day early, but we're going to go from our hotel to the airport to make use of the transfers.
This is something, as I said, that I need to, if you give me just a second, I will come back.
Thank you.
Just remember that Catania is quite a smallish town. So if you are staying elsewhere, it might be more beneficial just to take a taxi straight to the pre-tour hotel instead of going all the way back to the airport and then all the way back to the hotel. So just keep that in mind.
No, we're staying at a hotel in Catania.
Okay. Okay. All right. But I think also Valeria will tell us now the answer, but all of that will also be communicated closer to the time as well. And in the newsletters, we've got quite a few newsletters rolling out in the coming weeks. And we're also updating the website with some information as well, more detailed information as we get everything confirmed as well.
Thank you.
Any other questions while we wait for Valeria? No? I must say, I'm very happy to see such a large delegation from the USA, some different faces to the normal attendees. Marika, there's some new faces I've never seen as well, some old faces, not old in age, let me rephrase. Some faces that have attended.
Sorry, I don't want to give you imprecise answers, so that's why, but it's written in the registration form. So when you go to register, there you find the timings of the included transfers. But I will ask Constanza to upload anyway also this information on the website so that it's more clear. Because we had to adapt it, so that's why I don't want to be mistaken giving you now the wrong information.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any other questions? Anything else you'd like us to cover? I think we have 10 minutes left. Marika, did you receive any additional questions on WhatsApp, or are you fine? You on mute?
they're asking us to what other documentations do we need, either for conference or for the arrival to Italy, aside from the basic passport. Is there anything else that we have to bring? Do they need their license as a guide to make sure that they are official guides? Is that going to be verified for registration?
No, registration, it just asks if you're a member or non-member, not if you're a guide or not a guide. Guides always like to bring their cards, bring their badges, bring pins from their associations. It's a little bit of a tradition for delegates to swap association pins. It's always nice when you're discussing best practice. For those who are licensed and those who are not licensed and those who are legislated, always show each other cards. So from a social networking point of view, it's always nice to have your that kind of documentation with you if you meet guides from other parts of the world as well. But as part of the official convention, no, that is not a requirement. Any other questions? Valeria, any final thoughts? Any points you want to raise or share?
Oh, Valeria, I have a question. I hate to be dense. Where you said on the registration, if you've already registered, where do you find the times for the transportation from the airport?
We will make that clearer in the next couple of newsletters and clearer on the website as well in the coming weeks.
Okay.
Valeria, any last information you want to share? You covered everything?
I believe we covered everything. So I don't know if you have more questions.
So, somebody asked me a question of whether they're staying in different hotels. And the question was, will there be someone from the conference in each of the hotels that they're concerned about getting lost, getting somewhere from, because there were a number of hotels.
Yeah. So let me answer, Valeria, because this also speaks to a typical convention and the use of the volunteers. So the hospitality desk and registration desk is only in the main convention venue, which is what Valeria mentioned. In the respective hotels, only in the larger hotels at key points within the little town of Ortega will be the volunteers, and there will be meeting points which we'll make clear. These volunteers will then take you from these meeting points to the different venues as well. So there is a very nice map on the website. Closer to the time, we'll, when the venues' names are all clearer and all of that, you will also be able to see where you need to be, when you need to be there. So, it is a very small little town, Ortega. It's impossible. There's no high-rise building. It's impossible to have everything in one venue. But this is part of the fun of this little destination that the delegates voted to host our 24 convention, is that you will be walking in the local streets, you will be passing local cafes and that, but there will also be volunteers around, and there will be maps. You can use your maps as well to guide you through. But the main location venues, there will be meeting points with the volunteers. So it depends if you're staying on the mainland, Syracuse, or on the island. But you can't get lost. Everyone knows where everything is, and you can just ask, where is this building? And the locals will direct you. So, yeah.
And also, I can say that the venue, it's really popular. So everyone in Syracuse knows where the municipal theater is. So in the worst case, you can always address to the hotel's reception, because anyway, they will be informed by us what's going on. So, and in general, in Syracuse, I mean, WFTGA will be the
main attraction.
The biggest event, so they will know exactly what happens. So in case you might even miss to find volunteers or staff, always refer to them, and this will only apply to the first day, because you will see that afterwards it will be very easy and also enjoyable to walk through the city. I mean, to walk to the old island of Ortega, so it will be easy and you won't get lost.
Yeah, so comfortable shoes is a must. No stilettos, ladies. No knee-high boots with stilettos. No. This is your sneakers, your comfortable shoes. That's the kind of footwear that's required.
And dress with layers, because it might be hot.
Might be hot, could be colder in the mornings and evenings, but the day when the sun comes out is definitely warmer. Marika, and then we'll have Marika.
Yeah, just a quick question for the gala dinner at the Castello Maniaci. Is it a formal, because that's what's written in the website, says formal attire. So do we really dress up like gowns and boots, or do we just be as casual, informal, casual?
So
Is
the
that
gala
what's-
dinner is formal, and it's also local attire. So a lot of the countries wear their local dress attire, and this is also where we say wear your sneakers, and when you get to the venue, pop it in your handbag and put your dress shoes on. It's Ortega is an island. It doesn't have vehicles. It doesn't have accessible roads everywhere. So walking is pretty much your main way to get around. So for the gala dinner, you wear your coat and you put your sneakers on, and when you get to the venue, you swap your shoes. You need to be innovative with your dress code with regards to the gala night. And again, we will communicate all of that stuff, preparation, all of that closer to the time, dress codes and all that detail. Luann, you had a question?
Luann.
Luann,
Luann.
Ronald?
Okay, it came, sorry. The hesitation. Thanks, Ellen. You mentioned about the weather, and since we're on that topic, it's a very good question because the guidebooks are saying that the weather is very rainy and that the high temperature is 16 C. But you're saying it could be warm. So could you give us a better idea? Because you're there.
Well, actually, the weather forecast, it's unpredictable, but in general, in Sicily, it's I mean, we have been there last January, and I have been there also in the past in January again. And it was that during the day when there is the sun, so when it's sunny, it gets also up to, it might also get up to 20-25 degrees. So that's why short sleeves, that's why I'm recommending to be dressed as a onion style or style, that you have something light in case it's really sunny, but then also be prepared because especially if you attend the pre-tour with the Etna Mount, there it might be very cold. So because it's up in the mountains, so it might also be minus something. So if you have a nice shirt or a t-shirt, and then you have a pullover and the warm jacket, it will be perfect because you wear or
Sure,
not.
we understand.
Yeah.
Sure, we understand. Great, that's very helpful because they were really saying it was never going to be warm. So that's
No,
very
it
helpful.
might be. It might be in, I mean, it's not always like that. But I mean, the closer we get to the event, the more let's say realistic the weather forecast becomes. So then we might give you more instructions also in this direction. But Mount Etna, it might definitely be really cold.
Okay, most of us are coming from the Northeast or the seaboard where we'll have our jackets in any case.
Okay, so that means don't forget your t-shirt.
Yes, right, exactly. Thank you so much, Valeria.
All right, I think if there's no last questions, then we can wrap up the session. Quick look around. I don't see any final hands raised. So, yeah. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Valeria, for taking the time to join us. And thank you to all of you. And we look forward to seeing you in a couple of months. So thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alushka. Thank you, Valeria.
Great. Okay, thanks, Marika. I will share the recording.